Hey everyone, Alex here from Japanese Masters, and today we are going to cover a little JLPT info grammar. We are going to cover verb koto ga dekiru, or noun ga dekiru. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Okay, as you can see here, we have our verb koto, or noun ga dekiru. Let's start by translating this in English. What exactly does this mean in English? Well, in English, this is can-do verb or can-do noun. And basically, this is the potential form in Japanese. However, there are many ways to make the potential form in Japanese. Another way is you can actually just take a verb and change it into something called the potential form. But today, we're going to be covering how to do it with ga dekiru. And if you don't know what the potential form is, the potential form is just the form to say that you can do something. So it's the difference of I will jump to I can jump. So basically it's saying that you were able to do that verb, or you were able to do the noun, or do something with the noun, or something like that. Okay, let's go and break this down. Okay, the first thing we have is a verb. This verb is going to be in dictionary form. So for example, you have things like kao, taberu, things like that. Not the mas form, not like tabemasu or kaimasu. And then afterwards, you have to add koto. And this is what is known as a normalizer in Japanese, and that turns a verb into a noun. Another normalizer is actually no, and there are different instances when you should use each. But for this one, remember it's koto. And what that means, basically, a normalizer, like I said, turns the verb into a noun. So this structure, ga dekiru, can only work with a noun. So if you notice, the noun doesn't need anything because it's already a noun. However, the verb has to be changed into a noun before you can use ga dekiru. And that's where the koto comes into play. Okay, then we have our noun. The noun is just a normal noun, and it's without the da after it. So it's whatever the noun is plus ga dekiru. Then we have our ga. Our ga is our subject marking particle. This assigns attributes to things before it. So if you want to go with the direct translation, it's basically saying whatever this is before it, you're assigning the attribute that it can be done. Then we have dekiru. Dekiru is the actual potential form of suru. Remember I said a little while ago that this form just is another way to do the potential form in Japanese, that you can actually take a verb and change it into potential form. Well, actually, dekiru in itself is the potential form of the verb suru, which means to do. Also, this way is the only way that you can make a noun into the potential form. There's no direct translation into the potential form like there is with a verb. Okay, let's go ahead and go through a couple of examples so that you understand this structure. The first one is, yeah, I can drive. Unten ga dekiru. As you can see here, we have our noun. And then the noun is, like I said, a noun, so it doesn't need anything after it. So we don't need to put a koto or anything. We can just put ga dekiru. Now, another way you could actually put this sentence is you could put unten suru koto ga dekiru. It has the same meaning, basically, but this is the shortened form of it. If you notice, a lot of the nouns generally are nouns that have suru after them if you want to change them into a verb. And you can put or you can remove the suru from this structure. It's basically interchangeably. This still conveys the same meaning as unten suru koto ga dekiru. It's just this one's a little shorter. Okay, this sentence is pretty simple, as you can see. Let's go into something a little bit more complicated. We have, I can't eat spicy food. Karai tabemono wo taberu koto ga dekimasen. Okay, as you can see here, we have our verb plus koto, because it needs to be changed into a noun. And then we have ga dekimasen. Now, one of the things you should notice here is I did not put tabe nai koto ga dekimasu. If you want to change it to negative, or you want to change how polite it is or anything, everything happens at the end of the sentence with this one. So if you want to say you can't do something, you put dekimasen. You don't change this one. This one is always in dictionary form. If you notice back here, I did not put plain form. Plain form would have it so that if you wanted to change it into the negative form, you would change this into tabe nai. But I put dictionary form. That is only one form, so this will always stay like this. If you want to change anything, you change it with the last verb in the sentence. And remember, in Japanese, usually the last verb or the last phrase in the sentence is what determines the politeness of it. So everything before it could be in polite tense, and then when you get to the end, you put it in non-polite, you put it in like plain form, and the sentence will be considered plain, not polite. Okay, then we have our karai, which just means spicy, and tabemono is food. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the last sentence. The last sentence is, yeah, I can speak Japanese. Hai, nihongo ga dekimasu. Now, this is another example where it's a noun, so you don't need to add koto after it. And this sentence can actually be said in multiple ways. Another way you could say the sentence would be, Hai, nihongo o hanasu koto ga dekiru. Or even another way would be, Hi, Nihongo ga hanasemasu, which that would be the potential form of hanasu, which means to speak. But I decided to go with the most simple form, which is just Nihongo ga dekimasu. And even though you don't see anything here that says to speak, like right there, you don't have anything in this sentence, it is implied. Because what else are you going to do with Japanese? You're basically saying, I can do Japanese. And in English, that basically translates to, I can speak. And anyone in Japan would know that you're talking about speaking Japanese and not some other verb with it. It's basically implied. And of course, we have our hai, which just means yeah in Japanese. And we have our structure, the ga dekimasu, which comes after our noun Nihongo, which is Japanese. Okay, that is the end of the lesson today. I hope it made sense. The main takeaway you should get from this is that there are multiple ways to make the potential form in Japanese. This is just one of them. And if you are putting a verb, make sure to change anything you want to change about that verb at the end of the sentence. So if you want to say you can't do something, it's dekimasen. If you want to say you can do something, it's dekimasu. If you want to make it plain form, then use dekiru or dekinai. And also remember to put that koto after the verb. Other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. If you have any criticisms, also put that in the comments below, and I'd be happy to address those. Until next time, guys, keep studying Japanese. All right, everyone. See ya.